So on today's episode, we're going to be talking with the founder of a men's grooming brand called Tej Hanley and how they managed to grow their brand to 8 figures in just 2 years. It's a great episode you don't want to miss, so do stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's Kunle Campbell from the 2X e-commerce podcast, and this episode you're about to listen to is a very special one. I interviewed the founder of Tej Hanley. Now, Tej Hanley are a men's grooming brand. They're 95% subscription based, which is fascinating given the fact that they offer the ability to make one-offs. 95% of their customers actually just subscribe with them. And they're a global company, which I found very fascinating, based out in Chicago. They've been around since 2016, I believe, and they have grown 40 to 50% year on year. In fact, one of the years between 2017 to 2018, they grew 3 figures, which is like 100% or more. They are a very healthy 8-figure business, meaning that they're well above 10 million, the 10 million mark. And this is a very fascinating conversation, I had with Kelly. He's a co-founder. He has another, co-founder called Rob. And I think there's one thing you want to gain from this interview. It's the use of influencers, one, to rapidly work on acquisitions. That's number one. And number two, choosing one channel you just absolutely smash it with. In fact, that one channel should be your megaphone to the market. And in their case, it was YouTube. They have a unique YouTube strategy, both from an influencer standpoint and an owned media standpoint in terms of the content they create. And I think they cleverly, very cleverly, recruited an influencer by the name of Aaron, who has about 6 million subscribers. And he's the voice, and this is pretty much a voice and tone of this brand of Tej Hanley. Yeah, they're an international brand. You don't really find that many US companies going international as rapidly as they have. And their retention bits, which is customer experience and product improvements, is really helped them in good stead. It's an interesting conversation. Kelly is a very open individual. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, I have to say. Enjoy it. Let me know how you find it, and I'll catch you on the other side. Ta-da. Hi 2Xers, welcome to the 2X e-commerce podcast. I'm your host Kunle Campbell, and this is the e-commerce podcast dedicated to rapid growth in online retail. So if you're looking to grow metrics such as conversions, average order value, repeat customers, traffic, and ultimately sales, I pretty much handpick the guests who come to this show to share their expertise and experience. My criteria is based on one thing: can they actually help you deliver growth? If they can, I try my very best to get them on the show. Now, on today's episode, we're going to be talking to the founder of a Chicago-based direct-to-consumer men's grooming D2C brand. The name of the brand is called Tej Hanley, and you may have come across, the brand at some point. I have via Facebook adverts. I've seen them, pop up on my stream, and I think what is very interesting is they are an 8-figure brand, right? So they're really successful from 2016. So in the last 4 years, they've accelerated, growth. And the interesting thing is they've taken a different approach, with YouTube being at the core. They're highly profitable. I think they're profitable from month 4 or so, month 5. They took a fail fast approach. They had a selling other people's product experience, which I've talked about in the show many episodes ago. And they decided to really focus on, launching a brand, taking their brand to market. And in 5 months, they just blew it out the waters. Now, I'm joined by Kelly Hunting. He's the CEO and co-founder of the brand. I'm not going to babble too much, but I'd like to welcome Kelly to the show. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you very much, Kunle, for having me.
Before we kick off today's show, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Is your e-commerce store powered by Magento, BigCommerce, Commerce Cloud, WooCommerce, or a custom cat platform? Is it slow? Does it have too many fields or involves too many steps to complete a purchase? Enter Bolt. It's the fastest e-commerce checkout in the industry, period. Bolt loads 10x faster than native checkouts with an average checkout duration of just over 30 seconds. Bolt is mobile native with no scroll on mobile screens. It offers a zero fraud guarantee and has 42% fewer fields than native checkout. Bolt supports Stripe, Apple Pay, PayPal, and several more payment gateways and providers. Bolt helped luxury sunglasses brand Dita reduce checkout abandonment by 32%, which resulted in a 50% conversion rate uplift. Don't lose customers at checkout, use Bolt. Bolt is offering a completely free bottom of funnel checkout audit to 2x e-commerce listeners. Head over to bolt.com/2x to get your free checkout audit now. That's bolt.com/2x. Oh, fantastic. So over our pre-interview, I was, pretty blown away by some of the things you said, and your experience, basically, what brought you here. Now, I think before okay, why don't you introduce yourself and then Teej Hanley, and let's and we'll go back, way back.
Cool. Yeah. So Teej Hanley is a direct-to-consumer brand. We're based in Chicago, Illinois. What's interesting about our brand is that we are very much focused on subscription, and we're focused on systems. So we believe in giving guys exactly what they need to look and feel amazing every day. And we give it to them in a monthly box, nothing more, nothing less. And this idea of an uncomplicated skincare routine is resonated with millions of guys around the world. And so we are a global brand, shipping to over 100 countries every month. And we're just part of a conversation about what it means to be a man today and want to take care of yourself.
Interesting. Not many American companies, US companies, venture out of the US this early. I know you've been in business since 2016, but when did you make the decision and why to go internationally? I've jumped the gun here, but I just had to pick up on that.
Yeah. So, we actually didn't make the decision. It actually just happened. And I think that's the nature of the DTC world. Right, is that while we're proud that we're a Chicago company, and that means something to us, having Midwest roots, which are really kind of around very, very basic and kind of simple goals and character of a company. But we realized right away that we were reaching guys across the globe. And with our message about taking care of your skin and delivering an uncomplicated message, and through my partner Aaron Marino of the YouTube channel Alpha M, that we were attracting a lot of guys to our message, and our message is all around: it's okay to take care of your skin. It's okay to want to do things to look and feel the best you can. And so that message has resonated with guys around the world. And we're very, very, very fortunate to have a large percentage of our business, of our product shipping overseas. We feel really good about that.
It's amazing. It's a very, it's another way to scale, the business, especially when you see, local success. Okay, let's go back to your background. You talked about, back in 2000, you founded, Teej 2.0. Started off in 2016. Prior to that, you were more like a merchandiser, brand, selling a range of products. How did you start it out back in 2015? What was your background, and how could you give us that startup story?
Sure. It's amazing. I spent my whole career in retail, so helping big global product companies understand how people shop. And I was very fortunate because I owned a global design agency, and we spent time all around the world understanding how guys shop. And actually, we spent a lot of time studying, guys versus ladies and skincare, and our mission and our purpose there was to help CPG companies strategize how to get guys to shop. And the challenge there, Kunle, is that number one is that guys really don't like to shop. I know most people listening may not find this much of an epiphany, but guys don't really like to shop. And we also, there's no context for us talking about our skin. Like, by the way, your skin looks great, Kunle, but guys don't make those type of comments in public, right? I mean, so we're not watching a soccer match saying, by the way, what are you using on your skin? It looks fantastic, man. You're killing it. So that just led me to realize that these companies are really struggling, to get skincare in people's baskets at retail. This is a perfect opportunity to bring the conversation online, and that's what we did.
Interesting. So the industry expertise and knowledge was there, and that sort of gave you that confidence to say, okay, we can change the narrative by selling direct to consumers and actually probably tapping into content marketing to get this conversation going online.
That's exactly correct, and it worked really well. As you stated, okay. We did fail fast in 2015. We launched with other people's products in a routine. Mm-hmm. We've always been routine based. And system based. So that was always part of our original platform. But, we just didn't have the voice out there in the marketplace until Aaron, until we got engaged with Aaron to help us with our business and create a voice. And a big part of that was also creating our own brand and our own products. We got very, very lucky there as well. We met right at that same time we introduced ourselves to Aaron. We met a chemist who did come on board as a minority partner, who created all our formulas. So we weren't really good. We were more marketers than product guys, myself and Rob Hoxie, my other co-founder. But we got very, very lucky and created outstanding product. Yeah. So that's how the story started. Okay. And it's been great. It's been a fun ride.
Absolutely.
And I've been very fortunate to have awesome partners.
Okay, so the picture I'm building out here is you have industry experts who understand the market dynamics with you and your co-founder Rob Hoxie, and then you also have a voice. We're going to talk about your voice, who's Aaron Marino, who is the YouTuber that really sort of gave you your voice and your tone in the market with his audience also, and then you have this chemist. To me, it's a really strong combination of, leadership and talent right there to shoot out a D2C, brand.
Correct. I mean, we couldn't have gotten any luckier. I mean, Rob's an excellent marketer. Aaron, the business that we're in is around what it means to take care of yourself as a guy. And this is something that is being talked about globally. Right. And it starts with just health. It starts with us, with guys needing to take care of themselves. Whether it's for their families, whether it's for themselves individually, to feel good about their job or to get the job, graduating from college, getting a job, or having that big moment in their lives, finding a significant other, a partner, or finding, getting married, whatever. And we're part of that conversation. And we're just trying to help guys understand that skincare is a big part of taking care of yourself. And so that conversation was something that Aaron brought to the table, and we're part of that movement. And we feel really, really good to have a say at the table.
Fantastic. Okay. So if we're looking at all your marketing channels, I think your center gramophone, your center microphone will be YouTube. Could you sort of take us back to 2016 as to why you didn't use Instagram. I mean, brands like Movement Watches, Daniel Wellington, utilize, Instagram, and they just, and Gymshark utilized Instagram. So why YouTube? Is it the long form content that appealed to you? How did you find Aaron, who's an influencer with 6.1 million YouTube subscribers? Could you sort of just shed how you came to this logic?
Well, we realized this goes back right to what I was describing about having expertise in retail. We realized that when you would go visit, and this was my personal experience in the research that I did. And of course, my wife always said to me, "You're not looking any younger. You should be taking care of yourself," which was definitely an impetus for me to do something about myself. But we realized early on that typically when you go to retail, one of the ways that you can really get introduced to this brand, and it is through a significant other, but one of those ways you get introduced to a brand is you go to retail, whether it's Liberty's in High Street in London or Nordstrom in New York City or Chicago, is that someone's there and helping you, and they're saying, I know that this can be daunting, and there's a lot of different products, and there's toners and tints and BB creams and all this other stuff. But you should really just try this and wash your face with a really good product. So that process to help guys understand skincare was something that we realized was very, very important to the decision process and to the buying process. And so that's exactly what we wanted to capture and share via our social platforms. And that was YouTube. So we were able to take that experience and through Aaron Reno and through several dozen other influencers, help guys understand what they need to be doing to take care of their skin. The conversation about that works very, very, very well on YouTube. And it worked not only from a brand building perspective, but it worked very well from a conversion perspective.
Okay. Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Klaviyo is a growth marketing platform that powers over 25,000 online businesses. Klaviyo understands every single customer interaction and empowers brands to create more personalized marketing moments. Listen, analyze, and act on your customer data with Klaviyo. Visit klaviyo.com/2x. So what did your content, calendar look like in the first 12 months?
Yeah, I mean, it was almost, 90% influencer. We had an opportunity to get together with some really good influencer agencies that really specialize in men's grooming, the men's grooming and wellness space. That was really leveraged through Aaron's relationships in the industry, and specifically we used a company called Menfluential, and Menfluential did a really great job of connecting us with guys that have common audiences that guys are looking for tips on how to get the girl and how to work out, and how to eat right. And what to wear for that interview or for that first date. So we really accelerated our content calendar over the first 12 months was booked every week with excellent content creators that have really good reputations and really good connection to their audience that are really talking about the type of things we're interested in at Teach Hanley.
So were these products reviews, review videos, or guides? How did the influencer create content on your behalf?
Yeah, I mean, most of the content was created around a healthy routine. So, a lot of guys, whether they're talking about, like I said, what to wear or how to work out, they would be talking about their workout routine. They would also talk about their healthy skincare routine. And so it was a perfect segue, to pitch our product and talk about our product and have those people speak in real simple words and terms that their audience could relate to about why it's important to take care of your skin and how you do it. So those things were really effective for us.
Super, super interesting. And were they any patterns you picked up from, with the more as you onboarded more influencers, talking about, grooming, routines? Did you see any patterns? Did you pick up any patterns that you sort of took with yourselves, moving forward after year one?
Yeah, absolutely. We would, we did a very good job, I think, early on of creating a lot of metrics around what worked and what didn't. Across all of our channels, really looking at various, attribution models. But on YouTube, we came up very early on with some very specific metrics around performance metrics around whether or not an influencer was working for us or not. Once, we realized kind of what was the content that really worked, not only for, broadly for us as Teach Hanley, but for an actual influencer. So we were very programmatic about how we would work with an influencer, and we would really help that influencer. We'd sign up every influencer to, a minimum number of engagements with us. We would never do a one and done kind of approach. And it was very programmatic. So we would look for very specific things. At what point was Teach introduced into the video? What was the exact, segue to that? What were the few points that were being hit? And then we would help that influencer tailor the message based on how things worked for us and how it didn't. And we would almost always get the influencer, to be even more effective for us over time. So it was very formulatic and kind of driven approach that we took that was very successful, and we still use it widely today. We spend a lot of time with our influencers. We are not our methodology is much more about going deep. Deeper than wider with our influencers. So given that very successful.
Given that your given that you're a global company, you're a global brand essentially. Have the influencers you've worked with been global? Are they dispersed across the globe?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's great influencers they're speaking on this topic. They are, primarily speaking in English, although we absolutely encourage, influencers that speak in their native language to talk about Teach Hanley. But we do have a widely, most of our influencers are using English. So yeah, we love that about our company, whether or not you're, living in the U.S., but you're from Europe. We know that our guys follow global influencers, which is awesome. It's an outstanding thing for us. So we highly encourage. We have a lot of people that are talking about our brand in Europe and Italy in particular, in the Scandinavian countries, New Zealand, Australia, Germany, Canada, UK. So it's a great thing to be a global brand in today's environment.
Yeah, and I really think with that approach to content and influencer marketing, it was a no-brainer to start selling internationally, or it could even be some of your stats that actually even point some of your viewership stats that actually point around to where you could potentially put more effort from a media buying standpoint, towards getting more attention or following through with the attention you've initially seeded through those influencers in those regions. I think it's very, very, very fascinating and very courageous of your brand, because it's many. I believe you me, I've spoken to many US brands on this show, and a lot of them are quite hesitant 4 years on to venture internationally. They probably just do Canada and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're really proud. When I will tell you a very, very quick story. We have this cohort of guys called Teach Day One guys. There's I was describing to you that we did build up a pipeline of about 5,000 guys the day we relaunched Teach in July of 2016. We still have hundreds and hundreds of those guys that are active members in our company. So they're receiving product from us on a regular basis that are around the globe. And I have both in London, in Italy, in Rome, and in Czech Republic, in Prague. I have met face to face with some of our day one guys, and the amount of pride that I have for that. I'm usually on holiday, and I call them up and say, "Can I buy you a beer? I want to know what your experience is like." Has been just a thrilling part of my experience with the company.
I like the phrase "day one," day one guys. It's super interesting. So, for founders listening to this episode, would you pay influencers? What has been your strategy? Some people say, we'll never pay influencers. We only work with micro influencers, and it's, probably just a free product thing. What's been your approach with Teach?
Yeah, I mean, we have a very significant part of our budget. We're talking about millions of dollars that we spend with influencers. It's a challenging way to market. There's not a lot of really great metrics to completely understand, off-the-shelf metrics to really understand how well your influencer marketing is doing for you. So, and like I said, committing to multiple engagements up front is a really challenging thing for a lot of companies to do. So, creating your own methodology for what success looks like and how you measure that, creating your own process and making it iterative, and having the stomach to stand with it, even though things, is hard to measure. I talk to a lot of people, a lot of great marketers, and they have a love-hate relationship with influencer marketing because of the cost of it and how hard it is to track some aspects of conversion and brand awareness. I just say, if you're going to do it, you've got to understand that it's a long haul, and you got to stick with it.
What's the most you've ever paid an influencer for a package, because you don't do one-offs?
Yeah, I mean, it's been in, we've had easily in the 100,000 range, for an engagement with influencers. And I think they've all worked well for us. They've all worked very, very well for us. And as I described before, we partner very closely with them. So we're not just going to throw material at them and hope that it works. We spend a lot of time making sure that if we didn't have a very successful engagement, that we help them try to get their engagement with us just shaped up just a little bit, so they can perform better. And it almost always works for us. Okay.
What do you think are the top 3 deciding factors for signing up an influencer from a Teach perspective?
We do look at, number one thing is we look at their video engagements, and we look at where their audience is coming from and the makeup of their audience. Even though we are very, very much globally focused, there are certain types of audiences that we don't think are really going to point to success for us. So we do pay very close attention to who their audiences are, and we pay very close attention to their engagement rates of their videos. And we look at, we study their channels to understand where their channels have been traditionally, and what's the trajectory of their channels. And then we have several other metrics that we look at to really dive a little bit deeper into why their channel's doing the way it's doing, and to make sure that there's nothing kind of funny going on there. And once we check all those boxes, we heavily engage with those influencers. But we do like all types of micro influencers as well. We have probably 100 micro influencers that we use on an ongoing basis, and they play a very important role as well, Kunle, into our total overall influencer strategy. Just like any other strategy, not only is it channel specific strategy, but you need to break down, the properties within each channel, and then break down the campaigns within those channels to really understand what works. And it's the same way with influencer marketing. It's not just a one size fits all, right? Yeah. It's we have a very well balanced portfolio.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Did you know that cloud-hosted e-commerce platforms like Shopify and BigCommerce do not provide automatic backups? Rewind steps in to protect Shopify and BigCommerce stores with automatic backups. Rewind is trusted by over 25,000 stores. Install Rewind and get to test it for free over 7 days. And to extend the 7-day trial to 30 days, head over to rewind.io, their website, and mention 2x e-commerce.
From micro-influencers to the people that we're spending, 6-figure engagements with. And you've got to have a balanced portfolio within the influencer market as well.
Yep. Yeah, I 100% agree. So what about like your in terms of like, you definitely have a range. Do you like, would you work with YouTube natives, right?
Right.
You wouldn't work with Will Smith or, a celebrity who happens to have a YouTube channel and is starting to be active.
Right. That we have not. So we have not used what, I think in traditional marketing influencer, probably referred to. We haven't really had any celebrity endorsements, although ironically, we are very close to engaging with people that would fit that market. Some sports people and the reason why is because they were very engaged with our brand. So they really like our brand, and they've reached out to us, and we really like them. Yeah. So, for instance, there's a young NFL rookie that's doing very, very well. He was engaged in our brand through college, and we just love the guy. We love what he stands for, and so we really do want to work with him. So there's some other iconic figures out there that we really like a lot, that we think fit well with our brand, and we're very close to engaging with them. So, and then there's other figures that are out there that represent cohorts of our guys, and what our guys are interested in. We spend a ton of time doing market research on our understanding our guys, and so we are trying to work with more people that are outside of just grooming, that are talking about things that our guys are interested in.
You'd grow with these guys, especially like with the rookie football player. So the two misconceptions I had about Tijjani, in the past. First, I thought you were from San Francisco. It just I don't know, psychologically, sure. I just thought you were from San Francisco. And my son was born in Chicago, by the way.
Wonderful.
My first son, yeah. But the other thing I thought was you were actually part of a Unilever or a Procter and Gamble. I just had that feeling, that sure. you're a sub product, or you're an attempt to go direct to consumer for a really big conglomerate, and that was very rapidly squashed given the opportunity to speaking with you. This is fantastic. Okay, let's talk about you said you have your a subscription based business. Obviously there's an option on product pages for one-off purchases. So what is the mix? Is it 80-20, 90-10? What does it look like?
We're like 95% subscription.
Oh, okay.
So we have a very, very, very high subscription component. And that it's we use a phrase here at Teej all the time called the hard yards. I think it's actually a New Zealand term, rugby term. But it takes, you have to do a lot of hard yards to get to build a subscription business, because there's a lot of people that are, number one, subscription adverse. Number two, there's a lot of trialists, and by the way, this is completely understandable. There's a lot of people out there that just want to try your product before they commit to something. Both scenarios are, completely, I completely understand that from a consumer psyche position. And then thirdly, there's people that just, for whatever reason, may like some of your product, but not all of it. They just may not like it, or they may be using, another brand of product, for instance, for a moisturizer. So, these are challenges of a subscription routine, kind of product that we have. So we have built, and that's been a big part of our growth over the last couple of years, Kunle, is try to figure out the nuances of this, right? To understand. I mean, the secret for us is all around, keeping guys, engaged in our brand and retention rates. And, and so that's a big part of subscription is how are we really good at developing a subscription membership based company?
You're in the SaaS territory now.
Yes. Yeah. It's really important for us. It's really about developing great membership and, understanding that value proposition, right? The value proposition of what it costs to acquire someone versus what it costs to retain somebody. And
so at 8 figures plus, 4 years behind you, what top tips do you have on reducing churn and maximizing CLV through subscriptions?
Yeah, great. I mean, I just said it actually a second ago. I mean, and it took us 2 years to figure out. It's like, literally banging our head against the wall. I mean, you absolutely need to give more value to members than you do to acquire somebody for new, right? So that value equation needs to be balanced very clearly and very concisely for your company, and you need to be able to communicate that very clearly to people that are part of your of your membership community. So and it's tricky because everything that you do, you need, when I say everything you do, every program that you're launching, every offer that you're launching, your promotional calendar and everything, you always need to remember that we need to make sure that we provide our members more value than a prospect, whether it's through our product offering or when we launch products, making sure that those products are only available to our member guys first, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. And so most of the value is delivered through products, and it could even be in product improvement with what they have at the moment, like existing product improvement.
Yeah, well, it's about the entire customer experience, right? It's got to be a fantastic customer experience from the moment that they, obviously the whole way through the customer journey, but for certain from the moment that they decide to purchase our products all the way through their lifestyle as their life journey as a customer, as an ongoing customer of our business. You've got to have a great customer experience. So we spend a tremendous amount of time on the entire customer success journey.
I'm on your product page and I'm on the compare bit. So there are like 5 packages here. There's the skincare system level 1, level 2, level 3, and then there's the acne system level 1 and 2. Which is your most popular system or package?
Yeah, guys usually either gravitate towards our level 1, which is just kind of a middle point skincare routine that includes a face wash, both a daytime and a nighttime moisturizer, and twice a week scrub. Yeah. This is really the middle of the road for most guys. They should be doing kind of these things. They should be moisturizing twice a day. Scrubbing, using exfoliant scrub a couple times a week, and making sure they use an outstanding moisturizer, wash on their face twice a day. Our moisturizer is also SPF 20, which is a really important thing for us, and preventing guys from having melanoma, which is the number 1 cancer for men. So that's that one, followed by our number 3 box, which is more of an anti-aging focus box,
the serum
that really is about fighting Mother Nature. So those two are really kind of where guys gravitate to. Super interesting. And you're on Shopify from all indications, because I could see the URL is collections. So what does the subscription layer in your Shopify build look like? Yeah, we're actually our subscription commerce stack is Recharge. Recharge is layered over top of Shopify. It's I think it's widely known as being one of the premier reoccurring charge payment processing companies. They've been a very good partner. We started with them very early. They were very early in their career, and we were very early in our career. They've been a very good partner for us. They've grown rapidly native and skin is on them, and so the P&G is a customer of theirs now as well. So they're really kind of becoming the big boy in subscription recurring payments. There are a lot of companies out there that are offering some very good platforms as well. But right now we're with Recharge.
Okay. Yeah, this is super fascinating. I don't think I have that many other questions really. But what I'm picking off, yes, is really from an acquisition standpoint, you utilize a lot of YouTube and influencers there, and there's a lot of customer experience optimization to ensure there's strong retention on LTV from a recurring standpoint to keep customers in the flow. I think the final question I have is, what does your team look like? This looks like a lot of work. We talked about your leadership team, the chemist, I don't know his name, Aaron, Rob, your partner. So what does the rest of the team look like?
Well, I've built the team. We've, like you mentioned earlier, we remain growing organically without any outside funding over the last 4 years. And I built a team to get us to $100 million. We want to be a $100 million company. We think we can be there. Yeah. So we've built out a very, very strong team that includes, a CFO, a CTO, and a COO, our chemist. And we have built as much in-house as we can. So in-house expertise. We're not a company that relies on a lot of external partners, although we do have a few, and they're very, very good. And we work very, very closely in collaboration with them. But we've built a very strong in-house marketing team. We've built a very strong operational team. I'm also very proud of the fact that we actually do not use a 3PL. We've never used a 3PL, so
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Is your e-commerce store powered by Magento, BigCommerce, Commerce Cloud, WooCommerce, or a custom CAT platform? Is it slow? Does it have too many fields or involves too many steps to complete a purchase? Enter Bolt. It's the fastest e-commerce checkout in the industry, period. Bolt loads 10x faster than native checkouts with an average checkout duration of just over 30 seconds. Bolt is mobile native with no scroll on mobile screens. It offers a zero fraud guarantee and has 42% fewer fields than native checkouts. Bolt supports Stripe, Apple Pay, PayPal, and several more payment gateways and providers. Bolt helped luxury sunglasses brand Dita reduce checkout abandonment by 32%, which resulted in a 50% conversion rate uplift. Don't lose customers at checkout, use Bolt. Bolt is offering a completely free bottom of funnel checkout audit to 2x e-commerce listeners. Head over to bolt.com/2x to get your free checkout audit now. That's bolt.com/2x.
We do our own packing, fulfillment, and shipping. And we have a very good operations team that has done a very, very, very good job of having an Amazon mindset. So meaning a mindset of that the customer expects delivery of their products in 2 or 3 days. And so we built a really good team. We're looking to grow, continue to grow our business. And we're very, very, very bullish on what we're doing, and we're very bullish on the men's skincare industry.
Yeah, the 95% recurring is a number I haven't, come across in e-commerce as yet, unless if there's no, if you give, that option, when you present the one-off purchase option, 95% is super, super high. You have a big audacious goal, 100 million, very, very possible in the space that you're at. Would you sell up?
It's an interesting question. I think that there are barriers that you hit right through this process. And we've bumped up against a couple barriers, and we're trying to overcome them. And those barriers, and I don't want to be cryptic, so I'll be more specific. There are pools of guys that represent teach handling buyers might be. There's 5 million pulls and 15 million pulls and 20 million pulls and 50 million pulls, and that they're all based on our research about their orientation towards using skincare, and their orientation towards taking care of themselves, and their orientation towards subscription. So those are barriers as we try to break through those different groups of men that are interested in the space. There are barriers about, how big can you grow your awareness of your brand. That's a challenge, right? You get to a certain point that you need to have a bigger microphone out there. There are barriers around retail, and wanting to become, go to retail and to grow in retail and have a very good supply organization that can supply retail and be very successful in the retail environment. So those are all barriers that as we look at our trajectory, our very steep growth trajectory, that we need to break through. And I think at some certain points there may be a need to raise capital and to find the right partner, whether or not it's a strategic partner that wants to help us with our brand beyond 100 million, or whether or not it's a venture partner that wants to help us break through some of these barriers. I think that is possible. That is a possibility for us.
What's your timeline to hitting the 100 million?
I think I'm executing on a 3-year plan right now. So we just completed a 3-year plan. I think our 5-year plan is probably that $100 million number. Our 3-year plans is short of that. But I'd like to be able to say we could do it in 5 years, and it really depends on our strategy with retail and whether or not we really want to embark down that path or not.
What's been the impact of COVID? Most retailers have seen a significant net benefit off the back of it, although there've been supply chain issues. But most businesses have grown quite significantly depending on what you sell.
We net strong positive for us. We've had we had a very sharp dip March 8th through the 21st or so of 2020, and then we had a very strong uptick. We had very strong months, strong April, very strong May, very strong June, July, very good August. We're seeing a little pre-holiday softness right now, but the biggest challenge with COVID has been that level of uncertainty. That's in the consumer's mind, and it's driven by both the uncertainty of how long COVID's going to be around and what's the impact of the economy. Is the economy really going to recover? And then the uncertainty related with the U.S. election. Right. There's uncertainty in the marketplace for that. So I think there's just a lot of uncertainty out there with consumers. My feeling is that as we get beyond the 2020 U.S. election and we get into 2021, where I think there'll be 21 where there's a more positive outlook on recovery from COVID and the economy. I'm expecting 2021 to be a huge year for us.
Yeah, because from my notes here, you've achieved 40 to 50% year-on-year growth.
That's correct.
Consistently, you achieved triple-digit growth both in 2017 and 2018. This is clearly a growing business. COVID may as well, accelerate this curve. There's another theory from Klaviyo around given the fact that habits are sticking, and
yes,
what I found very fascinating is, so long as you increase your subscriber base and you continue doing what you're doing, with the customer experience, layer, you have a flywheel here. You have a flywheel. You're not, because you acquire, all you need to do is retain. So, it's very consistent. And I was going to go back to another question around how have you, and I asked another person a few episodes ago, because they run like a subscription business. How do you figure out the cycles? Are you on the 30-day cycles, 45, 60, or 90?
Yeah, so
in terms of replenishment.
We measure it very, very closely. We measure the habits and behaviors of people the second they walk in the door, to understand what are success habits and what habits lead to people churning. And so definitely how frequently they engage with their their reorder cycle is an important metric for us. So we look at that right away, and we do a lot to help encourage guys to get on a healthy routine early on. So our cycle is just slightly longer than 30 days. It's probably in about the 34, 35 day window. Okay. But most of our customers, 90% of our customers are coming back at least within a 90-day window. So,
which is predictable.
Correct.
And do you find they top up, with extras? Say they overhydrate, for instance. Would they, want to buy an extra,
right.
tube?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. Those are other, probably our second biggest kind of focal point of our metrics is whether or not guys are engaging with purchasing additional add-on items through through certain periods of time, through their life cycle as a customer. And that's exactly what we see. We offer the ability for guys. We are now offering basically the ability for guys, once they've come through the door, to fully customize exactly what they want. So, I just want this, this, and this in my box, and then make it so every month.
And then you price it out dynamically.
Right. Yeah, correct.
My prediction is that Unilever or Procter & Gamble would at least make an offer to you guys in a really big number in a few years' time. That's my prediction.
Well, thank you.
Because you're in the CPG space, you're doing things really 95% recurring. You're already in 8 figures in 4 years. Your growth trajectory is where it should be. There's no reason why once they realize
you forgot the fact that we're profitable and that we're self-funded.
Exactly. Profitable for self-funded. No other funding from outside. So yeah, it's a brilliant story. Before I let you go, I normally have like a lightning round.
Sure.
I'd ask you a question, a series of questions, and if you could answer them with a single sentence, it'd be brilliant.
Sure.
Ready when you are.
Yeah, I'm ready. That sounds great.
Okay. What advice would you give to yourself 5 years ago?
5 years ago, I would absolutely fire myself and shut down the previous company that I owned for 10 years.
Wow. Are you a morning person?
I'm a 24-hour person. So I do well in the morning, although I don't like to get up, but I get up early and I go to bed late.
Okay. What 2 things can't you live without?
My family and a good glass of wine.
Fantastic. Unwind. What book are you currently reading?
I'm reading Clean, which is by Hamill. It's a book about the skincare industry, and I'm reading a book on wealth.
Okay.
Wealth creation.
Wealth creation. Okay. What are your 3 indispensable tools for managing, Teach Chanley?
Number 1 tool of managing any business is, execution. Mm-hmm. You need to be very good at execution. Number 2, be very good at focus.
Execution and focus, absolutely. Final question is, what's been your best mistake to date? By that, I mean a setback that has given you the biggest feedback.
Not fire people faster.
Interesting. You're very, very swift to that. That normally is a curveball question. All right. Thank you, Kelly. It's been incredible having you. I've learned a ton just speaking with you. It's been an opportunity. For people who really want to find out more about Teej, it's TIEGE.com. Kelly, are you active on social media at all? If you are, what channels are you most active so people can follow you?
Unfortunately, I'm really not. I'm most active on LinkedIn. Okay. I haven't really, done too much outside of on Instagram or Twitter, but they can follow me on LinkedIn. I post things there now and then. I just like to keep it simple.
Yeah, I've sent you a LinkedIn request over this conversation. But Great. It's been incredible having you on here. A huge privilege, you telling your story. And I wish you the best, moving forward with the brand, with Teej.
Thanks, Kunle. You've made my day. I appreciate everything you've said and having me on your show. Cheers. Good luck to you.
Thank you.